are they going to be able to do this again tomorrow? Because a lot of what they did last night felt unsustainable. I mean, the numbers at a certain point in the first half, I called it unsustainable when at the end of the first quarter, the Rockets were shooting 64.7% from the field, 55% from outside, and were perfect. Yes, perfect from the free throw line. The same team that had missed 35 free throws the 4 games before. I thought that was unsustainable. And it turns out it was unsustainable because midway through the third quarter, they were actually shooting better from both the field and from three. You heard what I said a little bit ago, right? 64.7% from the field, 55.5 from outside. They were still shooting 64.7% from the field. They were shooting 62.5% from outside midway through the third quarter. All of that seems unsustainable, right? To a degree. But let's just go through the things that we have seen. What is sustainable of all the things that we saw last night from the Rockets? How about this? The last 2 games that we've seen out of Amen Thompson, who has looked remarkably confident. Here he is after last night's game talking about that confidence and where it came from and why all of a sudden it's happening.
Probably like the end of the last game. I was just like, I gotta be more aggressive. I gotta make an impact on this game. And I tried to carry that into this game.
He did. I mean, it's not just that Amen Thompson was pickpocketing Steph Curry and pickpocketing the Warriors' best players. I've never seen him talk trash. If you talk to anyone who has been covering this team on a daily basis, they will tell you what a sweet guy Amen Thompson is. That might not be believable when you see him, throwing Tyler Hero into the ground, or for those who think that he tried to hurt Jimmy Butler on purpose. But Thompson, per some who were watching this game from closer seats than me, was apparently MFing Gary Payton Jr. the entire game. Like calling him trash. I did not know that was in his bag of clubs. But is that sustainable? I think it is with Thompson. Fred VanVleet shooting, is that sustainable? No, it's not. I mean, he keeps getting open shots. He keeps taking them. Ime Udoka described it after the game as Fred VanVleet just taking what the defense gives him. Sure, that is certainly happening. But let's be realistic here. Is that really going to be able to keep on happening? Is Fred VanVleet, who we have seen have rough night shooting in San Francisco, going to keep getting open the way that he is while the Warriors collapse on Jalen Green and shooting off-balance three-point shots that go in? I'm skeptical about that. Sengun setting things up. I think that can actually be sustainable. And really, you should see one of the screens that Sengun set on Podziemski, who finally came back to earth. He killed him. It was beautiful, especially considering we're all annoyed by the Podziemski experience. He came back to earth in a hard way. He did have open looks, by the way. The Warriors had some open looks that they just missed. So, also, are the Warriors missing shots? Is that sustainable for a home game? Maybe from a Steph perspective. Because let's ask about what's sustainable. And this might be the big question remaining in the series. There is a picture that went viral of Steph Curry coming off of a plane. Did you see his thumb? He has a golf ball on his right thumb. We'll dive into in Tinfoil Hat Thursday at 12:30 some of the things that have been said about the Rockets potentially trying to aggravate said swollen thumb. But is Steph going to sustain this level of poor play? I don't want to doubt Steph, who said after the game, no, it's just cold because of all the ice packs he's put on it, and said it's not impacting his play. Is Steph going to continue to struggle? The last 2 games, he has played poorly, at least by his standards, which is the standard of one of the greatest players in basketball history. Is attack mode Jalen Green sustainable? That I don't know. His confidence from game to game seems to waver, but I felt at the beginning of this game, the Rockets made a concerted effort to try and get Jalen Green going with a couple of the first plays that they ran. And I also liked what I saw from Alperen Sengun, who was basically right in his ear after the shots that he took, the aggressiveness that he displayed, saying, hey, man, keep it up. He did get banged up. He said he bumped his knee He said he's okay. He left the game for a moment. Honestly, with the way he was limping, I thought he might be out for the entirety of the game. He checked back in, but then checked back out a couple of minutes later. He did play a lot of the game. I am curious about his health going into the next game. But I thought we saw an attack mode Jalen Green, who maybe wasn't the best player on the court for the Rockets, but I did think had a good game. And also, on top of that, one last thing, as far as asking what is sustainable and what isn't for the Rockets from game 5 going forward, potentially into game 6, game 7, if they're lucky and get a win. Can they keep playing these big lineups? These big lineups are fun. I mean, there was a moment where they had Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, and Alperen Sengun on the court together. That's like just bully ball. Let's play Red Rover instead of basketball here. So what is sustainable for the Houston Rockets going forward based off of what you saw in game 5? Answer that. Thompson, Van Vliet shooting, Sengun, Green, Steph Curry slumping. What's sustainable?